Close your eyes. Breathe. Let your mind detox. Your problem is not your life. Your problem is not your past. Your problem is not other people. Your problem is a polluted mind. A mind overloaded with noise, fear, comparison, regret, and thoughts that were never meant to stay this long. This audiobook will not motivate you. It will not comfort you. It will clean you. Because when the mind is clear, decisions become simple. And when decisions become simple, life changes fast. Chapter 1. Stop letting every thought feel important. Most people are exhausted for one simple reason. They treat every thought like it deserves attention. It doesn't. That's the lie that drains your energy. That's the lie that keeps your mind polluted. A thought is not a command. Say it again. A thought is not a command. But you've been living like it is. A thought shows up, and you stop everything. You analyze it. You argue with it. You replay it. You obey it. And then you wonder why your mind feels heavy. Here's the truth. Your mind produces thousands of thoughts a day. Most of them are noise. Most of them are repetition. Most of them are fear pretending to be logic. You have a choice. That's the key. The problem isn't that you think, it's that you believe everything you think. Let's make this real. You send a message, no reply yet. A thought appears. Did I say something wrong? You didn't choose that thought. It appeared. But then you negotiate with it. You replay the conversation. You imagine outcomes. You check your phone again and again. Now the thought feels important, not because it is, but because you fed it. That's how mental clutter is created. Notice the thought. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's the key. Now let's talk about naming. When you name a thought, you create distance. Distance creates power. Instead of saying, I'm anxious, you say, this is an anxious thought. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, you say, this is a self-critical thought. You are not denying it, you are labeling it. Labeling removes authority, because the moment you name it, you stop being inside it. That's how detox begins. And yes, at first, your mind will resist. It wants engagement. It wants drama. It wants reaction. You don't owe it that. You have a choice. Most people think peace comes from solving every thought. It doesn't. Peace comes from disengaging. You don't win mental battles by fighting harder. You win by not showing up. That's discipline. It's not about flaw. It's about discipline. Now here's what you will do starting today. Every time a thought creates tension in your body, pause. Don't analyze. Don't justify. Pause. Ask one question. Does this thought require action right now? If the answer is no, you let it pass. No commentary, no story, no reaction. That's detox. And don't expect instant silence. That's not the goal. The goal is authority. You are training your mind to understand one thing. Not every thought gets a seat at the table. Say it again. Not every thought gets a seat at the table. This will feel uncomfortable at first because chaos feels familiar, because overthinking feels productive. It's not. It's mental pollution. And here's the final truth of this chapter. The quality of your life depends on the quality of thoughts you allow to stay. Not the ones that appear, the ones you entertain. You have a choice. That's the key. Stop letting every thought feel important. Your mind will get lighter. Your decisions will get clearer. And once you stop obeying every thought, you're ready for the next level of detox. You've learned how to stop the noise inside. Now it's time to deal with the noise outside. Chapter 2. Your mind is overfed and underdirected. Your mind is not broken. It's bloated. Too much input, not enough direction. That's the real problem. You wake up, and before your feet hit the floor, your mind is already consuming messages, news, notifications, opinions. You didn't choose clarity, you chose intake. And then you wonder why your thoughts feel scattered. An overfed mind cannot focus. An undirected mind cannot rest. That's the key. Most people think their stress comes from responsibility. It doesn't. It comes from excess. Too many voices, too many ideas, too many comparisons, and no filter. You have a choice. Say it again. You have a choice. Let's make this clear. Information is not wisdom. Consumption is not growth. Awareness is not discipline. It's not about how much you know. It's about how much you can ignore. That's discipline. Look at your daily habits. You scroll while eating, you watch while resting, you listen while doing nothing that requires listening. Your mind never finishes a thought. It just jumps. And jumping feels productive, but it's not. It's mental obesity. Your brain was not designed for constant intake. It was designed for focus and recovery, but you've removed both. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of what enters your mind adds nothing to your life. It just takes space, and space is where clarity lives. You don't need their permission to disconnect. You don't need to stay informed about everything. You don't need to have an opinion on every topic. That's the trap. An undirected mind chases everything. A disciplined mind chooses one thing at a time. That's the key. Now let's talk about direction. Direction is deciding in advance what deserves your attention. Not in the moment, not emotionally, in advance. Without direction, your mind defaults to whatever is loudest, and loud does not mean important. Urgent does not mean valuable. Here's the rule you will start living by. If it does not align with your values or goals, it does not deserve daily attention. Say it again. If it does not align with your values or goals, it does not deserve daily attention. This includes news, this includes social media, this includes conversations, this includes mental rabbit holes. You don't need to eliminate everything. You need to limit. It's not about flaw, it's about discipline. Now let's get practical. For the next 7 days, you will do 3 things. First, you will stop consuming content in the first hour of your day. No phone, no news, no opinions. Why? Because the first input sets the tone for your mind, and if you start with noise, you live in noise. You have a choice. Second, you will create consumption windows. Not all day, not whenever you feel bored. Specific times, limited duration. When the window closes, intake stops. That's authority. Third, you will replace passive consumption with intentional focus. One task, one conversation, one thought at a time. Multitasking is not a skill, it's avoidance, and avoidance creates anxiety. Your mind doesn't need more stimulation, it needs direction. Here's what will happen when you do this. At first, you'll feel restless because your mind is used to constant feeding. That doesn't mean something is wrong. It means detox is working. Silence will feel uncomfortable. Boredom will appear. Good. Boredom is the doorway to clarity. Don't escape it. Sit in it. Notice the urge to reach for distraction. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's the key. Most people fill silence because they're afraid of their own thoughts. But once you've stopped letting every thought feel important, silence becomes safe. And in that silence, your mind reorganizes. Focus returns, energy stabilizes, decisions simplify. This is not about becoming extreme, it's about becoming intentional. A clean mind is not empty, it's selective. You decide what enters, you decide what stays, you decide what goes. You have a choice. And here's the final truth of this chapter. Mental detox is not just about removing bad thoughts, it's about stopping unnecessary input. You cannot think clearly while constantly absorbing noise. Direction is the cure. You've learned how to stop obeying every thought. Now you're learning how to stop feeding them. Your mind is getting lighter. But we're not done, because even with less input, there is still one enemy left: external noise, and it's louder than you think. Chapter 3. Cut the noise or become the noise. Noise is not harmless. Noise trains your mind to stay distracted. And if you don't cut the noise, you become the noise. That's the truth. Most people think noise is external. It's not. Noise is anything that pulls your attention without permission. Notifications, opinions, conversations that go nowhere, background sound you didn't choose. You don't notice the damage because it feels normal, but normal does not mean healthy. A noisy environment creates a noisy mind every time. That's the key. You have already learned how to stop obeying every thought. You've started limiting what you consume. But if you stay surrounded by noise, your mind will keep slipping back into chaos. You have a choice. Say it clearly. You have a choice. Let's talk about the most dangerous noise of all: other people's opinions. Everyone has one. Most of them are unexamined. Most of them are projections. Most of them have nothing to do with your life. Yet you carry them. You replay what they said. You imagine what they think. You adjust your behavior to avoid judgment. That's noise. And the more you listen, the quieter your own direction becomes. You don't need their permission, not to rest, not to focus, not to live differently. That's the illusion you must break. Here's a hard truth. If everyone has access to your attention, you will never have access to yourself. That's not freedom. That's mental debt. Noise keeps you reactive. Reaction kills clarity. A reactive mind cannot detox. So now you cut. Not violently, not emotionally, intentionally. That's discipline. It's not about flaw, it's about discipline. Start with your environment. Constant background noise trains your brain to stay alert. Alert becomes anxious. Anxious becomes exhausted. Silence is not empty. Silence is cleansing. Say it again. Silence is not empty. Silence is cleansing. You don't need music all day. You don't need sound while doing nothing. You don't need stimulation to exist. Let your mind settle. Now let's talk about digital noise. Every notification is a request. Most of them are interruptions disguised as importance. And here's the rule. If everything is urgent, nothing is important. You have a choice. Turn off non-essential notifications. Not later, not gradually, now. Your mind is not a customer service desk. Every interruption fractures focus, and fractured focus creates mental fatigue. That's the cost. Now let's address conversations. Some conversations are connection, some are noise. If a conversation leaves you drained, distracted, or doubting yourself, it costs too much. You are allowed to disengage. You are allowed to stay quiet. You are allowed to leave. You don't owe everyone access to your energy. That's discipline. And yes, some people will react. That's fine. A clean mind requires boundaries. Boundaries always upset those who benefit from your lack of them. That's the price of clarity. You have a choice. Now here's what will happen when you cut the noise. At first, you will feel exposed because noise was your buffer. Without it, thoughts rise, emotions surface. Good. That means detox is working. Don't run back to distraction. Stay present. Notice the urge to fill the silence. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's the key. Silence reveals what noise was hiding, and once revealed, it loses power. Here's a simple daily practice. Schedule intentional silence. No phone, no audio, no input. Even 10 minutes. Sit, breathe, observe. You're not meditating, you're reclaiming authority. Your mind will wander. That's fine. Notice the thought. Name it. Let it pass. Silence trains discernment, and discernment is detox. Here's the final truth of this chapter. Noise keeps you busy. Silence makes you effective. Noise feels safe because it's familiar. Silence feels uncomfortable because it's honest. But honesty is where clarity lives. Cut the noise or you will become it. Your mind is getting quieter now, cleaner, more deliberate. But there's still one habit left that keeps mental clutter alive. The habit of rehearsing a life you're not living. You've cut the noise around you. Now it's time to stop the noise in advance.
Chapter 4. Stop rehearsing a life you're not living. Your mind is tired because it keeps living lives that never happen, arguments that never occur, failures that never arrive, futures that never exist. You rehearse over and over, and rehearsal feels productive. It feels like preparation. It's not. It's mental leakage. A rehearsal is action without movement, effort without progress, energy without results. That's the trap. Most people don't live in the present. They live 10 steps ahead or 10 steps behind, and they call it thinking. It's not thinking, it's avoidance. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's make this real. You imagine a conversation before it happens. You practice responses. You predict reactions. You prepare defenses. Then the conversation never goes that way, or never happens at all. But your nervous system already paid the price. Heart rate up, jaw tight, energy drained. For nothing. That's rehearsal. Here's the truth you must accept. Your mind cannot tell the difference between a real event and a vividly imagined one. So every time you rehearse disaster, your body lives it again and again and again. That's not caution. That's self-inflicted stress. A thought is not a command, and a scenario is not a signal. Say it again. A scenario is not a signal. But you treat it like one. You see an image. You feel an emotion. You assume it means something. It doesn't. It means your mind is filling silence with fiction. That's the key. Most rehearsals are rooted in control. You rehearse because you want certainty, you want safety, you want to avoid discomfort. But here's the reality. Rehearsal does not prevent pain, it multiplies it. You suffer once in imagination and once in reality, if it even happens. You don't need their permission to stop imagining worst-case scenarios. You don't need proof that things will be okay. You don't need guarantees to disengage. You have a choice. Here's the discipline. You only think about what you can act on now, not later, not hypothetically, now. If there is no action available, thinking stops. That's not denial, that's clarity. Say it clearly. If there is no action available, thinking stops. Most rehearsals fail this test immediately. What if I fail? No action now. What if they reject me? No action now. What if this goes wrong? No action now. So you let it go. Notice the scenario. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's the key. Now let's talk about the past. Replaying the past is also rehearsal. You're rehearsing a version of yourself that no longer exists. You replay mistakes. You rewrite outcomes. You imagine different versions of you. None of them are real, and none of them help. Reflection has a purpose. Rehearsal does not. Reflection asks, what can I learn? Rehearsal asks, what should have been? One moves you forward, the other keeps you stuck. It's not about flaw, it's about discipline. Here's a rule you will use from now on. You revisit the past only to extract one lesson, then you leave. No emotional spirals, no identity attacks, no punishment. Lesson, exit. Anything else is indulgence, and indulgence feels justified until it drains you. You have a choice. Now let's address future fantasies, positive ones, yes, even those. Daydreaming about success, recognition, or revenge can also pollute your mind because it creates a dopamine reward without effort. Your brain feels like it achieved something, but nothing happened. That weakens discipline. A clean mind doesn't live in fantasy, it lives in execution. You don't need to imagine becoming confident, you need to act confidently. You don't need to imagine success, you need to do the work. That's discipline. Here's the practical shift. When you catch yourself rehearsing, past or future, ask one question: where are my feet right now? Bring your attention back to the present task, the breath, the movement, the action in front of you. Presence breaks rehearsal every time. And yes, you'll drift again. That's normal. Detox is not perfection, it's consistency. Notice, name, return. That's the cycle. Here's the final truth of this chapter. A rehearsed life is a wasted life. You don't need to live every possible version of your future. You only need to live this moment well. That's where power is. That's where clarity is. You've stopped obeying thoughts. You've reduced input. You've cut the noise. Now you've stopped living imaginary lives. Your mind is clearing, but there's still something left behind. Emotions you never allowed yourself to feel. You've been thinking them instead. And that ends next.
Chapter 5. Emotional Detox starts with brutal honesty. You don't think too much. You feel too little. And what you don't feel, you think about endlessly. That's the truth. Most mental clutter is not caused by thoughts. It's caused by avoided emotions. Emotions you never allowed. Emotions you judged. Emotions you buried and called being strong. But buried emotions don't disappear. They leak. They leak into your thoughts, your reactions, your decisions. That's the key. A clean mind is impossible with unprocessed emotion. You have a choice. Most people lie to themselves emotionally. They say, I'm fine. They say, it doesn't bother me. They say, I'm over it. But their body says otherwise. Tension, irritation, fatigue, overthinking. Those are emotional debts coming due. Here's the hard truth. Your mind keeps replaying what your heart was never allowed to feel. So the solution is not more thinking, it's honesty, brutal honesty. You don't need their permission to feel what you feel. You don't need validation. You don't need justification. An emotion does not require approval. That's the illusion that traps you. You learned somewhere that emotions are dangerous, that feeling makes you weak, that control means suppression. It doesn't. Suppression creates pressure. Pressure creates explosions or shutdown. Neither is clarity. It's not about flaw, it's about discipline. Emotional discipline means this: you feel without acting. You observe without judging. You allow without drowning. That's the key. Let's make this practical. When an emotion shows up, sadness, anger, jealousy, fear, you usually do one of two things. You distract or you analyze. Both avoid feeling. Scrolling, working, talking, overthinking. Different methods, same escape. But here's the rule: what you resist persists. What you feel dissolves. Say it again. What you resist persists. What you feel dissolves. Feeling does not mean dramatizing. Feeling does not mean reacting. Feeling means allowing the sensation in your body without a story. That's discipline. Next time an emotion arises, you will do this. Stop. Breathe. Scan your body. Where is it? Chest? Stomach? Throat? Name the emotion, not the story. The emotion. This is anger. This is sadness. This is fear. Notice the urge to explain it, to justify it, to blame someone. Do not negotiate with it. That's the key. Stay with the sensation until it changes, because emotions are temporary when you don't trap them with thought. Most people don't let emotions pass. They loop them. They keep reopening the wound with memory and meaning. That's not processing. That's rumination. Processing is quiet, honest, direct. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable at first because you've trained yourself to escape. But discomfort is not danger. Say it clearly. Discomfort is not danger. Your body knows how to release emotion. Your mind keeps interrupting it. Now let's talk about anger. Anger is often mislabeled as toxic. It's not. Unexpressed anger becomes resentment. Resentment becomes mental noise. Anger is information. It tells you a boundary was crossed, a value was violated, a truth was ignored. You don't need to explode, you need to acknowledge. Say it internally. I am angry. Not I should be angry, not they made me angry, just I am angry. That's honesty. The same applies to sadness. Sadness is not weakness, it's release. But you rush past it, you numb it, you intellectualize it, so it stays. And then it turns into emptiness, or fatigue, or apathy. Feel it fully, or think about it endlessly. That's the key. Now let's address fear. Fear is not a signal to stop. It's a signal to slow down and stay present. But instead of feeling fear, you imagine outcomes. You rehearse disaster. You create stories, and fear grows. Fear wants presence, not prediction. Stay with the sensation. Let it rise, let it fall. You don't need to solve it. You have a choice. Here's a daily practice for emotional detox. Once a day, sit quietly for 5 minutes. No phone, no distraction. Ask yourself one question. What am I feeling that I've been avoiding? Then listen. No fixing, no judging. Just allow. This is not therapy. This is hygiene, emotional hygiene. And here's the final truth of this chapter. A clean mind is built on emotional honesty. You cannot think your way into peace while lying to yourself emotionally. Clarity comes when you stop running. You've stopped obeying thoughts. You've reduced input. You've cut noise. You've stopped rehearsing fake lives. Now you've started feeling what's real. Your mind is lighter, but there's still one addiction left. The addiction to chaos itself. Some people don't know who they are without mental drama. That ends next.
Chapter 6. Break the addiction to mental drama. Some people don't suffer from stress. They suffer from attachment to stress. Chaos feels familiar. Calm feels wrong. That's the uncomfortable truth.
You say you want peace, but your habits say otherwise. You refresh, you react, you escalate. And when nothing is happening, you create something. A problem, a worry, a story. That's not bad luck, that's addiction. Mental drama is stimulating. It gives your mind something to chew on, and without it, you feel empty. That's the key. Most people don't fear chaos, they fear stillness, because stillness exposes them. You have a choice. Say it clearly. You have a choice. Mental drama looks like urgency, like emotional spikes, like always being in something, a conflict, a crisis, a narrative. Your nervous system gets used to it. It mistakes intensity for meaning. So peace feels boring, and boredom feels dangerous. But boredom is not danger. Boredom is detox. Say it again. Boredom is detox. Here's how you know you're addicted to mental drama. When things are going well, you scan for what's wrong. When there's silence, you reach for stimulation. When there's peace, you disturb it. That's not awareness, that's conditioning. It's not about flaw, it's about discipline. Drama gives you identity. I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm dealing with a lot. Take the drama away, and many people don't know who they are, so they hold on. You don't need their permission to be calm. You don't need justification to have an uneventful day. You don't need a problem to be worthy. That belief is poison. Here's the hard truth. Your life does not improve when you react faster. It improves when you react less. That's the key. Drama thrives on immediacy. Respond now. Think now. Decide now. But clarity requires delay. So here is the rule. When you feel emotional urgency, you pause. Not because something is wrong, but because something is triggered. Urgency is rarely wisdom. Say it again. Urgency is rarely wisdom. Most drama begins with interpretation. Someone doesn't respond. Someone says something vaguely negative. Something doesn't go as planned, and your mind fills the gap. Stories, assumptions, threats. You don't wait for facts. You chase feelings. That's addiction. Here's the discipline. No action at emotional peak, ever. You feel anger? Pause. You feel anxiety? Pause. You feel the urge to send that message, make that decision, or confront that person? Pause. You have a choice. Drama wants speed. Clarity wants space. Now let's talk about complaining. Complaining feels like release. It's not. It rehearses negativity. It reinforces identity. The more you complain, the more your mind looks for reasons to complain. That's conditioning. This doesn't mean you deny problems. It means you stop feeding them emotionally. Here's the shift. Instead of saying, "This is so stressful," you say, "This is uncomfortable." Language matters. Stress implies fret. Discomfort implies tolerance. You can tolerate discomfort. You don't need to dramatize it. That's discipline. Now let's address overreaction. Overreaction is not about intensity, it's about accumulation, unprocessed emotion, unexamined beliefs, uncontrolled input. So when something small happens, everything comes out. That's why detox matters, and that's why calm must be practiced. You don't become calm by wishing, you become calm by choosing. You have a choice. Here's a daily practice to break drama addiction. Once a day, do nothing stimulating. No phone, no content, no multitasking. Sit, walk, breathe. Your mind will protest. This is boring. This is pointless. I should be doing something. That's withdrawal. Stay. Notice the urge. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's the key. As your nervous system recalibrates, peace stops feeling empty. It starts feeling stable. Now here's the final truth of this chapter. Drama keeps you busy. Calm makes you effective. Drama feels alive. Calm is alive. If you don't choose calm, your mind will choose chaos for you. You've learned how to stop obeying thoughts. You've reduced input. You've cut noise. You've stopped rehearsing fake lives. You've faced your emotions. You've broken the addiction to drama. Now there's one final illusion left. The voice in your head that you still think is you. That ends next.
Chapter 7. Detach from the voice that isn't you. Most people think the voice in their head is them. It's not. It's noise. It's habit. It's programming from years of comparison, fear, and conditioning. You've been obeying it. You've been arguing with it. You've been identifying with it. And that's why your mind is cluttered. Here's the truth. You hear the voice, but you are not the voice. Say it again. You hear the voice, but you are not the voice. That's the key. This voice shows up with judgment, with doubt, with fear, with endless what-ifs and you shoulds. And you listen, you internalize it, you obey it. But obeying a voice that isn't you keeps you trapped. You have a choice. Say it clearly. You have a choice. Here's how to identify the voice that isn't you. Notice it when it criticizes. Notice it when it predicts failure. Notice it when it compares you to others. All of these are external scripts, internalized. They are borrowed. They are not yours. You've been living in rehearsal again, but this time the rehearsals are written by someone else. That's mental clutter. Most people fight this voice. They argue, they justify, they overanalyze. But argument strengthens the voice. Analysis gives it oxygen. The key is detachment, not battle. You do not need to argue with the voice. You do not need to silence it. You do not need to control it. You simply observe it. Notice it. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. Say it again. Notice it. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. This simple act rewires the mind. You've trained yourself for years to follow this voice automatically. Now you train yourself to choose. Here's the daily practice. When the voice arises, step 1, pause. Step 2, label the thought as not mine or mental chatter. Step 3, return to what is real, present, and actionable. That's discipline. It's not about flaw, it's about choice. It's about reclaiming authority over your mind. Here's a real-world example. You're at work, and a self-critical thought appears. I'm not good enough. They're going to see I'm incompetent. What do most people do? They panic. They overwork. They overthink. That's obeying the voice. Instead, try this. Notice it. Name it. This is a self-critical thought. Do not negotiate. Do not react. You just created space. You just reclaimed control. Now the voice loses power. And here's the lesson most people miss. The voice thrives on belief. Belief fuels it. Repetition strengthens it. Every time you obey it, you are feeding it. Every time you detach, you starve it. You have a choice. That's the key. Another example. You compare yourself to someone online. Your mind whispers, "They're better. You're behind. You'll never catch up." Notice it. Name it. Comparison thought. Do not negotiate. Do not react. You just weakened the voice. You just reclaimed your energy. Repetition is critical here. Daily practice is non-negotiable. Every morning, every conversation, every decision. Notice, name, do not negotiate. That's how detox becomes permanent.
Here's the hard truth. If you do not detach from the voice that isn't you, you will remain reactive. You will remain anxious. You will remain stuck. And all the noise you've cut, all the rehearsals you've stopped, all the drama you've avoided will still find a way back through that internal voice. You must detach. You must choose. You must practice relentlessly. Here's a deeper insight. The mind loves labels. It loves identity. It loves stories. And that's why it writes scripts for you. You are lazy. You are weak. You are behind. Detach. Observe. Return. Every time you do this, your mind gets cleaner. Your decisions get sharper. Your life gets clearer. You have a choice, and using that choice consistently rewires your mental habits. Now let's address fear. Fear is often delivered by this voice. It whispers, "You can't, you won't, it's too late." Detach from it. Notice it. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is authority over the voice. And the final point of this chapter, you will still hear the voice. It will still comment, doubt, and predict. It will still create noise. That's normal. You are normal. Detachment is not elimination. Detachment is choice. Detachment is discipline. The cleaner your mind becomes, the more present you are, the more alive you feel. Say it again. You are not the voice. You have a choice. You have authority. You have discipline. That's the key. Here's your final exercise before moving forward. For the next 24 hours, notice every self-critical, anxious, or comparative thought. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. Each time you practice this, you reclaim power. Each time you detach, you detox further. You've learned how to stop obeying thoughts. You've reduced input. You've cut noise. You've stopped rehearsing fake lives. You've faced your emotions. You've broken the addiction to drama. Now you must detach from the voice that isn't you. Once you master this, you can build true mental discipline. You can reclaim focus. You can reclaim calm. Chapter 8. Build mental discipline like a muscle. Your mind is not a factory. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, it must be trained. Not occasionally, not when you feel motivated, daily, relentlessly, without excuse. That's the key. Most people treat mental discipline like luck. They wait for inspiration. They wait for clarity. They wait for a calm day. It never comes. Discipline is not about motivation. It's about habits, boundaries, and consistent practice. You have a choice. Say it clearly. You have a choice. Here's the truth. A clean mind is not automatic. It's deliberate. It's structured. It's trained. Every time you let thoughts run wild, you skip a workout. Every time you scroll endlessly, you skip a workout. Every time you rehearse dramas, you skip a workout. And that's why mental exhaustion feels normal. It's not. It's undertraining. Discipline is not about harshness, it's about control. Control over input, output, and reaction. Let's make it practical. Step 1. Morning clarity. Before your phone, before notifications, before other people's problems, spend 5 minutes with your mind intentionally. Sit. Breathe. Observe. Notice one thought. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's the first set, your warm-up. Step 2. Task focus. Pick one task, only one. Set a timer. Give it your full attention. Notice the urge to multitask. Notice the urge to check your phone. Notice the voice that says, do more. Name it. Do not negotiate. That's a rep. Your mind is getting stronger.
Step 3. Input control. What enters your mind during the day matters. Emails, notifications, social media. Filter them, limit them, choose intentional windows. Every distraction you avoid is a gain in mental strength. Step 4. Reflection and review. At the end of the day, reflect. What thoughts dominated you? What mental noise did you allow? What rehearsals did you engage in? Notice. Name. Do not negotiate. Every day you practice this, your mental discipline grows. Now let's discuss the toughest part, resisting the mind's urges. Your mind will fight structure. It loves chaos. It thrives on drama. It craves distraction. And when you resist, it protests. It's too hard. I need a break. I deserve this. All lies. All excuses. Do not negotiate. Discipline is choosing clarity over comfort. Say it again. Discipline is choosing clarity over comfort. Most people misunderstand discipline. They think it's punishment. It's not. It's freedom. Freedom from reactive thoughts. Freedom from constant stimulation. Freedom from mental exhaustion. Here's another practical exercise. Midday reset. Take 3 minutes. Close your eyes. Notice the dominant thought. Ask, is this thought useful right now? Yes, focus. No, let it pass. This is mental conditioning. This is training. This is building resilience. Repetition is critical. Morning clarity, task focus, input control, midday reset, evening reflection, daily, consistent, non-negotiable. Every day you skip this, your mental muscle atrophies. Every day you commit, your mind strengthens. Here's the truth most people avoid. You can't outsource discipline. You can't wait for others to create it for you. You can't hope it shows up magically. It is built through consistent, deliberate choice. You have a choice. That's the key. Let's talk about setbacks. Your mind will resist. You will fail some days. You will scroll too long. You will react too quickly. You will rehearse dramas. Good. Failure is part of training. Notice it. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. Then return, immediately, without guilt, without delay. That's discipline. Now let's address energy. Mental strength is fueled by rest, not endless hustle, not constant input. Sleep, nutrition, movement, silence. These are the fundamentals. A strong mind does not require chaos. It requires consistency. It requires attention. It requires respect. Here's the final truth of this chapter. Mental discipline is not a one-time effort. It's a daily workout. It's a lifestyle. It's a choice you make repeatedly. You've stopped obeying thoughts. You've reduced input. You've cut noise. You've stopped rehearsing fake lives. You've faced your emotions. You've broken the addiction to drama. You've detached from the voice that isn't you. Now you are ready to apply all of this to action, decision, and focus. Every moment is training. Every choice is a rep. Every pause is a set. Your mind is your strongest muscle. Train it. Strengthen it. Protect it.
Chapter 9. Replace mental clutter with intentional focus. You've cut noise. You've detached from the voice that isn't you. You've disciplined your mind like a muscle. But if you don't replace clutter with focus, your mind will fill the space again. That's the key. A mind left empty is not peaceful. It's vulnerable. It's waiting for input. It's waiting to obey. You have a choice. Say it clearly. You have a choice. Intentional focus is the antidote. Not more effort, not more stimulation. Focused, deliberate attention. Here's the truth. Most people confuse being busy with being effective. Scrolling, checking, reacting. They are not productive. They are distracted. They are fueling clutter. Intentional focus is different. It's not reactive. It's selective. It's deliberate. Say it again. Intentional focus is deliberate. Here's the practical shift. Step 1. Identify your core priorities. What truly matters today? Not what seems urgent, not what someone else wants from you. What matters for your goals, your growth, your clarity? Write it down. Choose no more than 3 items. Step 2. Single task with ruthlessness. Do one thing at a time. Give it your full attention. No multitasking, no distraction, no negotiation with your mind. Every time your thoughts wander, notice it, name it. Do not negotiate. Step 3. Eliminate low-value inputs. Emails that don't require immediate action, messages that don't align with priorities, media that doesn't feed growth. If it's not useful, remove it. Step 4. Time box focus. Set specific windows. Protect them. Treat them like sacred hours. Discipline is not occasional. It's consistent. It's non-negotiable. Now let's address internal clutter. Even with external inputs controlled, your mind can wander. Past regrets, future fears, what-if scenarios. These are old habits, mental clutter. The solution is awareness plus redirection. Notice the thought, name it, do not negotiate with it. Then return to what matters, your priority task, your current moment, your chosen focus. Repeat this hundreds of times a day. Each repetition strengthens mental clarity. Here's the truth most people avoid. Focus is a skill, not a state. It requires repetition. It requires discipline. It's choice. You have a choice. That's the key. Now let's talk about energy. Intentional focus cannot happen in exhaustion. Your mind needs recovery, sleep, silence, movement, moments of stillness. Without these, discipline collapses. Focus becomes effortful. Distraction wins. That's why mental detox and focus training must work together. Here's a practical daily routine. Morning clarity. Midday, focus windows and resets. Evening, reflection and review. During each period, practice notice. Name thoughts. Do not negotiate. Replace mental clutter with deliberate focus. Here's a real-world example. You receive a challenging email. Your mind wants to panic. Your body tenses. Drama rises. Most people react immediately. They write back hastily. They overthink. They stress. Instead, pause. Notice your thoughts. Name the emotion. Do not negotiate. Then act with purpose, not reaction. Intentional focus turns chaos into clarity, reaction into action, stress into decision. Another example. You see social media updates. Your mind wants to compare, to judge, to worry. Pause. Notice the voice. Name it. Do not negotiate. Return to your priorities. Every act of redirection is mental discipline. Every choice of focus strengthens clarity. Remember this, a clean mind without focus will remain empty. An empty mind attracts chaos. Intentional focus fills the mind with what matters. Say it again. Intentional focus fills the mind with what matters. It's not about flow, it's about discipline. Your mind is now trained. Your noise is reduced. Your rehearsals stopped. Your emotions processed. Your drama gone. Your internal voice detached. Your discipline built. Now you must channel all of this into deliberate, intentional action. Every moment becomes an opportunity. Every decision a chance to exercise clarity. Every pause a way to reinforce discipline. The final truth: a mind full of intentional focus is unstoppable. A mind without it will slip back into chaos. You've built the foundation. You've strengthened the muscle. You've cleared the clutter. Now you must fill it with purpose, with action, with deliberate attention. Your mind is yours. Your choices are yours. Your life is yours.
Chapter 10. Protect the clean mind at all costs. You've arrived. Your mind is lighter. Your thoughts are clearer. Your focus is sharp. Your discipline is strong. But here's the hard truth. A clean mind is fragile. It can be rebuilt over months. It can be destroyed in seconds. That's the key. Most people spend years detoxing only to let the old habits creep back in. The old chaos, the old noise, the old voices. You cannot let that happen. Not now, not ever. You have a choice. Say it clearly. You have a choice. Protection is not passive, it's active. Every day, every decision, every moment. Here's the first rule. Guard your attention. Attention is currency. Everything in your life, thoughts, emotions, actions, costs attention. Spend it wisely. Do not waste it on noise. Do not surrender it to drama. Do not give it to a voice that isn't you. Notice every attempt to hijack it. Name it. Do not negotiate with it. That's discipline. That's power. Second rule, protect your environment. Surround yourself with people who respect your mental space. Surround yourself with input that adds value. Avoid energy vampires, excessive media, and chaotic situations. Your environment shapes your mind. It doesn't just influence it, it trains it. Choose wisely. Third rule, protect your habits. Discipline is a muscle. Muscles atrophy without exercise. Your routines are your workouts. Morning clarity, focus windows, midday resets, evening reflection. No exceptions, no negotiations. Every skipped session is a loss. Fourth rule, protect your boundaries. Say no. Say it again. Say it clearly. No is not rude. No is authority. No is survival. Your mind belongs to you, not to obligations, not to urgency, not to other people's expectations. You have a choice. That's the key. Fifth rule, protect your emotional hygiene. Notice feelings before they fester. Allow emotions to rise and fall. Do not let avoidance or suppression accumulate. A clean mind is built on honest feelings, not buried stress. Say it again. Feel it fully or think about it endlessly. Sixth rule, protect your focus. Intentional focus is fragile. Distraction is seductive. Notifications, idle thoughts, and mental drama will try to creep back in. Notice them. Name them. Do not negotiate with them. Return to what matters. Every act of redirection is a reinforcement of your clarity. Now let's talk about external challenges. People will test your discipline. Situations will demand immediate reaction. Chaos will appear at the worst possible time. Do not surrender. You have trained your mind for this. Observe. Pause. Respond deliberately, not reactively. That's power. That's mastery. That's protection. Here's a practical daily practice. Morning. Set boundaries before the day begins. Limit noise. Protect focus. Midday. Check your attention. Have you engaged with distraction? If yes, detach immediately. Evening. Review your mind. Notice what you allowed in. Notice what you rejected. Reinforce your discipline. This daily triad is non-negotiable. Here's the truth most people ignore. The mind that is not protected will slowly relapse. It's gradual, subtle, dangerous.
Small compromises lead to old habits. Small distractions rebuild the clutter. Small violations of discipline weaken your mental muscle. Protection is relentless. Protection is constant. Protection is non-negotiable. You have a choice. That's the key. Here's a mental cue you can use every day. When a thought, emotion, or external input threatens your clarity, say silently, "I notice you. You do not control me." Repeat it. Practice it. Reinforce it. This will retrain your mind to respect your boundaries. Now let's talk about long-term maintenance. A clean mind is not a destination, it's a practice, it's a lifestyle, it's a commitment to your own clarity. You don't allow clutter to enter. You don't negotiate with noise. You don't rehearse unnecessary drama. You don't obey voices that aren't yours. You don't ignore emotions. You don't give attention to what doesn't matter. Every day is a choice. Every decision is a rep. Every pause is training. You have a choice. That's the key. Final truth. Your mind is your life. Everything else flows from it. You protect your mind. You protect your decisions. You protect your mind. You protect your peace. You protect your mind. You protect your freedom. You have done the work. You have learned the steps. You have practiced discipline. Now the responsibility is yours. Do not compromise. Do not surrender. Do not negotiate. Protect the clean mind at all costs, because once it is fully yours, everything else becomes simple. Everything else falls into place. Everything else aligns with your clarity. You have a choice. You have authority. You have discipline. That's the key. You don't need a new personality. You don't need a new life. You need a cleaner mind. A mind that doesn't react to everything. A mind that doesn't believe every thought. A mind that chooses clarity over chaos. You've spent years collecting mental clutter. Today, you start letting it go. So here is your challenge. For the next 24 hours, question every thought that creates stress. Pause before reacting. Choose silence over noise. Detox is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision. Protect your mind, because once it's clean, everything else follows.